Bueno. I didn't realize it was recording until just now, so I had it on mute because it's just me so far. I'm waiting for you, Jessica, as the host to open up. But isn't it a beautiful morning? Look at all the beautiful surroundings. I'm walking over to where that little pier is. I don't know if you call it a pier. Just because even though the water fountains or the waterfalls are really pretty, I don't think people will be able to hear me when I'm teaching. But the air is crisp. It's a beautiful day, and I'm feeling really fortunate and inspired. It's nice wherever we're at. So just take a few breaths while we're waiting and appreciate the sounds, the temperature of the air. My host now? Let's see. I can't. Ah, good morning. Welcome to our yoga class. I'm really excited because I was worried because our host hadn't arrived yet, but apparently we don't need our host. So it's pretty cool. We can all get in. So welcome. Glad to see you all. Um, we'll just take a few moments to allow a few other people to arrive. And so what I invite you to do is find a comfortable spot. Maybe you're sitting outside with me. Maybe you're in your living room. Do whatever feels best for you this morning. I am out over by Springwood Village out in Spring, and it's really pretty. So I picked this spot because it's on like a little dock kind of thing. And there's water fountains back there, but I tried to come far enough away so you would still be able to hear me. I'm sitting in comfortable, easy pose. And we're practicing together this morning for World Mental Health Day. So today is also NAMI, the National Alliance for Mental Illnesses Day of Hope. And that will be our theme for the day, all right? And so we're gonna start with some breath work or pranayama. And please gesture or chat with me if you cannot hear me very well, because this is my first time. I'm really excited. This is my first time practicing outside early in the morning for a sunrise yoga class, and I'm doing this from my phone. So hopefully the sound is good. The vision is the picture is good. So let me know if there's any issues. And what we're gonna do for bee's breath, I'll show you a couple of options. So you might cradle your face lovingly, because we're all deer, and then take your pointer finger and cover your tragus, or that little flap of skin over your ear. You can do it that way. Another option, if you feel comfortable closing your eyes and you have the space to do so wherever you are, you might also close your eyes gently, not pushing into your eyes, and then cover those ears. Either option is good. We're gonna do humming bee breath. It has benefits such as helping to clear your sinuses. It's supposed to be great for clarity and calming, all right? So you pick, and what we're gonna do is we'll inhale through our nose, and as we exhale, we'll keep our mouths closed, but we're gonna hum. So it'll be like this. And allow your breath and your exhales to be as long and slow as feels comfortable for you. So not rushing it, just letting it extend as long as you need. What's nice if you have your hands on your cheeks is that you can feel that vibration loosening stuff up. So let's do that for 5 rounds. Inhaling through your nose, humming on your exhale. Two more times. And after your final cycle, release those hands, pause a moment, and notice. Coming back to that stillness. Maybe you're feeling an effervescence. Maybe you feel kind of silly, whatever it is. What I invite you to do, there's various people on this class video today. So if I haven't met you before, or if it's helpful to remember, whatever you feel, whatever your body is doing today is just what it should be doing. So honor where you're at, respect what you're feeling and noticing. And when I'm giving you options for different postures today, those are just suggestions. You be the expert on yourself. You can choose, you can modify, you can go as deep as you want, as shallow as you want. This class is for you, all right? So what we're gonna do is we're going to adjust and come into child's pose. And so that will be either narrow for closed hips. If that feels better for you, would be your knees together, sitting towards your heels. You may also take a rolled up mat and put it under your knees, or under a towel under the knees if that feels better. If you want it to be wider, maybe those knees are as wide as the mat, big toes coming together, and bringing the bottom towards those heels, okay? And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna walk those hands forward, allowing that forehead to come towards the ground. And I think I'm gonna make this long ways just so you can see me better. Letting that head come towards the ground, bottom coming towards those heels, maybe touching, maybe not. Letting those hands be active. So even though we're leaning down into this forward fold, let those fingers outstretch so that you can still feel it under your shoulders, in your arms as an extension. Breathing from your fingers, down your arms, your back, all the way to those hips. And then what I invite you to do is let those arms relax, let the elbows come to the ground, take those palms together and swivel them so that the bottom of those palms, the base of those palms is at the base of your head, kind of like a little shark fin or a yoga antenna for positivity. One of the quotes that I selected for today is by Maya Angelou. So y'all stay there. I'm just gonna reach up a moment to read this poem for you. Not a poem, a quote. Where did I put it? Hope and fear cannot occupy the same space. Invite one to stay. And so, honoring all your feelings, but then choosing what you're gonna water and what you're gonna nurture. Thinking about those different thoughts and intentions as seeds in our garden of our mind. Choose what you're gonna grow and what you're gonna let go, okay? One more full breath right here. Then we'll release those hands back down. We're gonna keep those hands where they are, but we're gonna lift our hips up. So the hips are over the knees. Maybe we're moving it forward a little bit so that our hips are stacked with our knees. And then we're gonna walk those hands back forward again, allowing the chest and the head to come towards the ground. This is melting heart pose, opening up the chest, the shoulders, allowing more space for breath, more space for love. And if there's an intention, if there's something you want for this class, for this day, for this moment, I invite you to think of something that you want to focus on and nurture today. It could be a word or an affirmation. I like peace and love, being present, things like that. So if something like that resonates with you or something else, pick it. And maybe as we inhale, we fill our bodies with that intention. And as we exhale, we release it and send it to other people too. Noticing as we breathe how our shoulders and our ribs, our backs and our bellies all expand with our inhales, contracting with those exhales. One more full breath right here. And then we're going to take those hands and walk them back up towards our bodies. keeping our hips where they are, we're gonna do thread the needle. It's a nice little shoulder stretch. Always giving yourself permission if something doesn't feel good, back up, move in or out. You are the navigator of your class today, okay? So we're gonna ground down through that left hand. As we inhale, we're gonna rise the right arm to the side and up overhead. Maybe looking at that hand in the sky or towards the ceiling, waving. And as we exhale, we're gonna scoop that arm through the space between the left arm and the side body, palm up. Let that right ear come into the floor, pushing some pressure into the right shoulder. Feeling the stretch perhaps in that side body on the right side. And if you'd like, you can take this left hand and leave it right here. Maybe you extend that left arm if that feels good. Another option might be to take a bind. Take that left hand, palm away from you towards your waist and open up more into a deeper twist, shoulder opening. These are all options, not requirements. Try things, and if they don't feel good, come on out. Breathing into that shoulder. We hold a lot of stress in those shoulders, and I know these days we're doing more and more on our electronics. Give those shoulders a break. Give yourself a break, actually. Breathing through it. Maybe thinking of one thing you're grateful for. Celebrating that for a moment. I'm grateful for this breeze. It is really pretty outside right now. There's kind of a light mist. One more full breath. I'm not going to breathe with my mouth open quite as much because there's bugs flying though. And then with our next inhale, we'll raise that right arm up overhead. Release it. Pause a moment as we ground and stabilize. And then with our next breath, we're going to bring that left arm up. Same way, opening up to this side, relishing, savoring how this side feels. Scooping it through. Left ear to the ground, noticing what you notice, what you can hear. Allowing gravity to push that stress out of that left shoulder as much as feels comfortable. If you have neck or shoulder issues, I apologize. If you have neck or shoulder issues, you can definitely be gentler on it by twisting your hips slightly so that there's less weight on it, okay? And then again, choosing the hand posture. Maybe you want to stretch out that right arm. Maybe you want to bind. Maybe you're fine right here. Your choice. And as we rest here a moment, I invite you to think of something you're proud of, something that you've overcome, like a warrior, a winner. Celebrate that a moment. I'm not prompting y'all to smile throughout class, but just know I'm smiling and you're free to smile. It's good for your body and your mind and spirit. So go ahead and smile. Anybody else is with you and they're wondering why you're smiling, let them think you have a secret. On your next breath, as we inhale, bring that left arm up overhead and release it back. A quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson: adopt the pace of nature. Her secret is patience. Thinking about the fall and being outdoors and those cycles, right? Sometimes we think something is ending, but it's really just a cyclical nature, and it's growing and coming back as something else, right? Okay, we're gonna come back into a nice easy pose. If this is comfortable for you, sitting cross-legged. You can also sit, if it feels difficult on your hips, you could sit on a blanket to lift them up slightly, or have, an adjustment to whatever the depth of that cross is, okay? Maybe you roll side to side a moment to make sure you're evenly on both sits bones. There's a teacher in Dallas, it's really cute. I think when you come to a seat, she says, move that sexy out of the way. So make sure that you're evenly on both butt cheeks. And as we inhale, we will raise those arms up overhead, fingers extended towards the ceiling, letting those shoulder blades come behind you and your back. Fingers open and receptive towards the sky, and notice the expansion that airy quality of the sky and your upper body, balanced and supported by the grounding nature of the earth, your body in between, and now we can hold space for both. Rising up through our ribs, our hips, bringing those palms together for a moment. And then as we exhale, we're gonna take that right hand and slide it to the side. Let that left arm cradle over our heads like we're amazing, graceful dancers. Allowing those sits bones to remain grounded and even on the floor. And notice where your chest is. See if you can keep the chest in the same plane as those hips so that we're getting a lateral stretch in our chest. Feeling that opening in that left side body. I know that if y'all have taken class with me before virtually, I'm not speaking in mirror right now. It's just because I don't want to get confused. But you may be doing exactly what I'm doing, what you see me physically, visually doing, or you might be doing the opposite. As long as we do both sides, it's fine, okay? Notice how that hip is feeling. Feel the energy that you're pulling from the ground in that right hand. And then as we inhale, we'll rise back to center, tall, celebratory, and hopeful. And exhale to that other side. Oof, welcoming this side. Being curious and observing how this side feels. Noticing if you're clenching your thighs, your toes, your heels. See if you can soften something. Whether it's physically or in your mind. I invite you, if you get distracted, if you start planning or questioning or wondering, reel yourself back in. Catch those thoughts and let them go. Come back to your breath or your body, maybe that intention. We rise on the inhale. And then as we exhale, we'll take that left hand, we'll place it on the right knee. Exhaling, we'll swing that right hand behind us, hands at the small of our back, rising tall. Exhaling, looking over that right shoulder and observing the beauty, either visually or in your mental space. Something you're appreciative for in yourself, in life, in others. It is so beautiful out here. This makes me actually want to teach on a regular basis out here. I appreciate you guys all joining me at the beginning of your day. Not sure how early y'all woke up, but it's a nice start for me to spend this time with you. As we're twisting, we are bringing out those organs, stimulating our circulation, getting all those digestive fluids, the lymph running, moving, getting it to work for you. Exhaling, we unwind. Inhaling, rising up. Exhaling, twisting to that other side, same thing. Ooh, and one side might be a little tighter than the other. If you find that on anything that we're doing that's doing both sides, if it feels tighter on one side, you can come back to these postures, even though I definitely want you to practice with me. You can have your own practice as well and do these things on your own and spend a little more time on that tighter side to find balance. Maybe you check in with your breath or your heart. Notice what your body is saying to you. If there's any areas talking to you, breathe into them and give them that love and attention. And as we exhale, we will unwind and release. And we're gonna come back to tabletop, all fours. Hands under your shoulders, knees under those hips. Let those fingers be extended fully, pushing those palms into the ground like you're making a print in the sand. You can have the tops of your feet released into the ground or curled, depending on your preference, because we're gonna do cat-cow. So top would look like that, released, or curled would be like that. Just depends on you. You might get a nice little soul stretch, if you have those toes in. As we inhale, we bring the head and the pelvis towards the ceiling or sky, letting that belly drop and fill with inhale and goodwill. And we exhale into cat, curling that spine towards the sky, maybe squeezing and doing a little Kegel. chin to chest, belly button to spine. And let's do 5 more at our own pace. We inhale in the cow. We exhale to cat. And at whatever pace you do it, I invite you to focus on that articulation of your spine, rolling through each vertebrae. Seeing where you can find softness. And feeling free to add any other creative flavor you want to this. Just because I'm doing it this way does not mean that you can't be doing it this way. What does your body need? Do you want to do some hip circles? Are you wanting to move it into child's pose and into up dog to make it more active? I'm cool and chilling with more calming, but you may not need the same things as me, and that's also perfectly great. And after your final round, we're going to come back to neutral. And then we're going to take that right foot and we're going to bring it in between both hands. Maybe backing that left knee up behind you, extending that left leg long. Noticing the alignment of that knee in front, letting that knee and the ankle be in alignment. So maybe it's a little bit further back. Maybe your foot's a little bit further forward. It's just we don't want the knee over the ankle, and we're not wanting to try and put too much pressure on the knee. Low lunge. Feeling the stretch in that left thigh, opening up. I'm not sure if any of y'all are doing the NAMI virtual walk after, but that's why I'm doing some of these things, because it's nice to kind of prep for a run or a walk with lunges and stretches like this. We're going to ground that left hand onto the floor, or maybe a block if that feels better. And as we inhale, we will open up that right hand, open that chest towards the right side, fingers long towards the sky, extending from finger, arm, and chest as we twist. Taking our breaths, taking what we need. Maybe looking at that hand that's up high or the hand down low, depending on what feels good. Maybe you're looking forward. Getting my little neck stretch, active little neck wiggles as needed. On the exhale, releasing the hands. And we're gonna walk these hands back closer towards our hips and extend that front leg into a nice little stretch. Depending on how you feel, you might stretch like this. You might also bring your body all the way down so that your butt is touching that left heel if this isn't intense on your knee. So you can pick how and where you want to feel it as long as there's no pain. If there's no pain, stop immediately. Inhaling tall. And exhaling and folding forward, breathing those hamstrings, noticing what comes to mind, letting that forehead be smooth, the back of your neck long as your chin comes closer to your chest. And then we're gonna bring our weight back forward, let that right foot stamp into the ground. Walk the right foot towards the left hand, right knee towards the right hand. And we're gonna lean forward and extend that back leg. So we're coming into pigeon, depending on how intense this feels. So the less intense would be the heel closer to the pelvis like me. If you're wanting more sensation, that foot can come closer to the left hand and be more parallel to the top of the mat. The main thing is we want the hips and the chest to be facing the front, okay? Back leg extended. Now, if that's not what you're feeling today, we can also do deer pose. So both of them are options for the hips. So still gonna have that bent leg, but we're having the back leg bent. That's what I'm feeling today. So wherever you're at, face that front bent leg, tall and square. And then as you exhale, walk down as far as feels good. Feels good is the operative word. We're not trying to get 100%. We're not trying to win the Olympics of yoga by pushing and forcing or looking like the cover of a magazine. We're listening to how we're feeling. Breathing. You might notice feelings and sensations in your hips or your calves, maybe that back. Notice what you notice. Depending on how close you are, and especially like if you're in pigeon, your forearms might all be all the way on the ground. You could also stack those fists and have your forehead on the hands. If I said forehead on the ground, I meant forearms. So options, if you were there, you might be on the forearms, you might be here. A pillow can be nice too. Breathing through it. And as Rainer Maria Rilke says, remember that no feeling is final, whether it's physical or emotional, okay? All right. So we're going to, whichever posture you're in, we're gonna come back all the way, our weight into the right side so that that hip is on the ground. And we're gonna swing the left foot around so that that heel is on the outside of that right leg, okay? This is option one. Option two might be to have that leg extended if that feels better for you, okay? Mainly we're twisting, so you get to pick, right? Whichever one you're at, we're gonna squeeze that knee in, noticing sensations in the back of the legs and the hips. We're gonna take that right arm, make a little L shape, and hug that knee into our bodies. If you're wanting this to be a little more intense but not painful, if it's not painful for you, maybe that L is on the outside, okay? You get to pick. As we inhale and raise that left hand up overhead, swing it around towards the back and twist looking over that left shoulder. Noticing this side and what you see. Wherever you are, whichever form of this posture you pick, I invite you to see if you can soften it 10 or 15%. Can you still get the effects of the twist looking over that shoulder with less work and more ease? Whether it's releasing those toes, unclenching a muscle, letting that breath flow more, softening those thoughts. We're wringing out those organs like a towel, encouraging rejuvenation. Noticing areas of your body that are in connection with one another, those compressions. And on the next exhale, we will unwind and release, coming back into all fours again. Feels like a long time ago since we were in tabletop, right, guys? Coming back into it, releasing the tops of those feet, letting that weight come back into the hands, neutral back. Maybe smiling. I know, I kind of smile a lot anyways, whether I'm teaching or not. Let the back of your neck be neutral. Breathe through your chest, your back body, your sides. Let that belly be full. Maybe we grab onto that intention. On that next breath, we're going to bring the left foot forward between those hands, walk the knee out. Coming into our nice little low stretch. Hips and chest square to the front. Noticing what we notice on this side. If this is uncomfortable on your knees, you can always use that rolled towel. You can always use blocks if it feels, if it helps the floor be closer to you. So use what you need and leave the rest, right? Grounding that right hand into the floor. Feeling the pressure and the support of the ground beneath your foot and your hand. As we inhale, we raise the left hand up overhead, twisting that chest towards the left, maybe waving. Twisting into it, leaning into it. Maybe you notice sensations throughout your body, or your body is shaking. Honor that. Don't fight it, but back off if it feels uncomfortable. Soften your gaze. On our next out breath, we'll release. Walk those hands closer to your body and extend that left leg. You know what to do, so you can either come all the way down with that right butt cheek on the heel or stay right here with that hip extended. Inhaling tall and exhaling, folding forward as much as feels comfortable for you over that left leg. Always giving yourself permission to come up a little bit if it feels too intense. A quote by Albert Camus: "Sometimes carrying on, just carrying on, is the superhuman achievement." So I know we all have a lot of goals. Sometimes the best that we can do is just do what we need to do, or do what we're able to do, and that's enough. Celebrate that. I'm celebrating being here with you guys today. I appreciate you all. Breathing through it, noticing sensations in the back, the bottom of that foot, the line of muscle up the calf, thigh, all the way to your hip. That similar stretch through your neck and back to the hip and those arms. After your next exhale, we'll stamp that front foot back down. Adjust your hands and we'll walk that foot towards the right hand, knee towards the left. And remember, the closer the heel is to your pelvis, the more comfortable. Maybe we're extending that leg behind us into pigeon. Maybe we're doing deer pose with both knees bent. You get to pick wherever you're at. After your full inhale, walk down on your exhale as much as feels comfortable and know, hey, this side feels way better, or this side feels way more intense. Back off if it feels more intense and you need to, right? What do you need in this pose? What can you get from it? And remember those options to use the stacked fist or a block. Letting those shoulders soften, creating plenty of space between your ears and your shoulders so that we're not hunching. It's going to be, it might feel like quite intense in those hips and the thigh, those hamstrings. So be gentle with yourself. Find that peace, that stillness. Sink in, lean into it. I'm sure y'all might have heard that before. They always say, lean into that discomfort instead of running from it or fleeing, because you have to go through things in order to address them, right? I can't say this guy's name properly, but John Guari, a quote from him: "It's amazing how a little tomorrow can make up for a whole lot of yesterday." Hopefully some of these quotes are instilling hope or inspiration. They do for me. With our next inhale, we'll walk up. Oof, that's kind of nice to walk up. And wherever you are, we're gonna swing that right foot across, choosing if we're gonna keep that lower leg bent or extended as we come into our twist. Hugging that knee into our bodies, noticing what we notice on this side. Making that L with our left arm, either hugging around or wrenching against the outer edge. We'll inhale that right arm up and exhale, swing it around, twisting this way. Looking over that right shoulder. Notice if your body is tensing in other areas, protesting. Can you soften and ease those areas and still achieve the same thing? Finding that stillness as we're massaging those organs, all of those organs and cells and muscles and nerves and systems inside us, just automatically doing things for us, keeping us going, almost invisibly to us. And if we think about our internal worlds as mirrors to the external, isn't it cool to think that maybe there's also invisible forces or people or supports that are also cheering for us on the sidelines and doing the work and supporting us? Always free to smile, y'all. And we're gonna exhale, and unwind. Release those legs, extending them in front of you, feeling free to shake them out. I'm gonna come up for a name for this one day, whatever this move is, because I do it a lot. And then we're going to extend those feet in front of us, move that sexy out of the way, make sure that we're evenly on both sits bones. Take those palms of your hands, fingers pointing towards your toes, drag those hands so that they're framing either side of your hips, rolling those shoulders open, chest wide in front of you, smiling and pausing a moment. Observing all areas of your body that are in contact with the surface. Feeling the strength and unity and support, the stillness and strength of this posture. Staff pose. You can soften after your next breath, and we'll inhale those arms up again. Tall, maybe looking at those fingers, noticing the extension, the stretch from fingers down your arms, your shoulders, your back, all the way to those sits bones. And exhaling forward. Options can also include having those knees bent a little bit to reach towards the feet. And kind of adjust. As long as we're not locking those knees, we're mainly trying to get that stretch in our back. Let the back of your neck be long with the chin towards your chest. The more you bring that chin towards your chest, you're stimulating that thyroid gland. We don't have to be touching those toes. The hands might be on either side. Another great option could be to put a pillow, blocks, or a blanket underneath your legs to bring them closer up. If you are touching the toes, an option might be to have peace fingers. Gripping those big toes and pulling gently in your hamstrings will let you know. If any of you guys are reaching beyond your feet and that still feels good for you, I'm not there. I'm not sure if you're there, but another option I've seen people do is place another block past it that they're grabbing to still feel it. Okay. Observing the stretch throughout your body. Full body stretch through your back, arms, legs, and neck. Kind of making a circle. One more full breath. And then we'll gently inhale and rise up. Let's bring those feet to the ground, closer to our bodies. Pick those hands beside you and let's push up into a standing forward fold. Whether your hands are on the ground or grabbing those calves or maybe grabbing opposite shoulders, let the head and the neck release. Appreciate a new perspective. Notice if you're locking out your legs and maybe soften those knees slightly if that feels like a lot. Give yourself permission to rock back and forth, even though y'all rock already, I know it. Maybe smile. And allow gravity to create more space in your spine as the weight of your head, your neck, your arms pull you down a little. Wide-legged forward fold is supposed to be pretty helpful for creativity, for a mood boost. Releasing those hands, let that right hand be right underneath your vision, under those eyes. And as we exhale, ground through both feet so that they're evenly weighted on the floor. We'll open up that left arm towards the sky. If you're wanting to have a lateral stretch, you could bend into that left leg and point that right foot towards the sky as well. You choose. Just depends on what you want. Exhaling, releasing, and switching hands. Opening up. Maybe bending. Ooh. You can always try and then back out if that's not what you want. And it's kind of a cool concept to think about in life too. Are there choices that we stall on, that we don't give a chance because we're not sure? Could we try and see if we like it and then back out? Maybe that's not always the case, but maybe we're getting in our way sometimes too. Exhaling, releasing the center. Taking those hands to your hips, grounding through those feet this time. As we inhale, we will stand all the way up. I'm gonna see if you can still see me if I back up a little more. Okay, so bringing those feet about hip width distance apart, head balanced between those shoulders, rolling those shoulders back, spine tall and long. Palms facing me, fingers extended into mountain pose. Again, feeling that connection of the ground and the sky. Envisioning a mountain that you've seen before. What the weather is, maybe it's snow-capped or there's grass along it. You see the birds, the animals, the bugs, the fauna. The seasons change, and yet the mountain is still there, standing strong and still. I invite you to be the mountain for a moment. Imagine that you are the mountain. Strong, sturdy. Whatever happens, whatever comes, those things pass. You embody that mountain, that strength, that connection with the earth, and you are ultimately you, your core self, regardless of those situations, those feelings, those passings. Take one full breath as a mountain, feeling it fully through your body. And then we're going to bring our weight, our awareness into that right foot. Imagine it's growing roots, twining, grounding through the earth. We're going to gently lift that left heel. Turn that left knee out. Maybe we stay right here and this feels great. Maybe we bring that heel to the ankle. Stay right here. Depending on how you're feeling and where your balance is at, I just realized I don't want to play too much with my balance because my goal is not to fall into the water today, although that would be quite humorous. I have something to do after, but you could be right here on the calf. You could be on the knee. You could be on the thigh, never on the knee. I'm sorry. Okay, so pick where you want to be. I think I'm okay right here. My toes are fully rooted. You can have the hand at your heart. It could be like this for more balance, or you could have branches, maybe waving with the wind. If you wanted to practice a cool mudra today, lotus is a really great one. No mud, no lotus, right? So you would take the base of your palms together, let the pinkies and the thumbs touch, and extend your middle pointer and ring fingers out and away. So there's that openness and receptivity for nature in our wiggling trees. And find stillness. Now, I'm not going to do this particularly, but if you wanted a further balance challenge, close your eyes. Just make sure there's nothing that you're going to fall on.
And honor whatever wiggles that you have throughout the practice. If you fall out, get back in. It's good. Let those toes ground you. One more full breath. And we exhale and we release. Walk it out, shake it out. We already did one side. I always call this my mall walking, although I don't know if they mall walk like this. Then we're gonna come back to that stillness. Ground through that left foot. Get rooted. Get deep. Lift the right heel. Turn it out. Choose where you want to be. What feels good on this side? This seems like my wobblier side. You may have one too. And pick those hands. How does it feel on this side? Honor that. Take or leave a mudra. Do what you want. Maybe focus on that intention or mantra. Find that stillness. Find your breath. Celebrate those wiggles because that means that you're putting it in. You're trying something and you're leaning into that discomfort. Woo. And you're okay with not being perfect because none of us are, right? One more full breath. We release it. We'll walk it out. Let's come back into that mountain a moment. Noticing what we notice. Checking in with your body. Listening to what it has to say. Checking in with that heart space and observing any feelings that may come up. Also honoring and observing if nothing is coming up. That's also okay. We're just practicing, right? Bring your focus to that space between your eyebrows, your third eye, that seat of wisdom, and notice if any thoughts are coming up, the quality and flavor of those thoughts. Allow your attention to blanket your full body as though our whole body is a puzzle piece. And we're taking that puzzle piece and we're placing it in that final spot in the puzzle. Connecting with our environment and feeling whole. Letting those barriers, those borders dissolve. And knowing that whether we recognize it or think about it all the time, we are part of it, right? Honor and celebrate that. Okay. Grounding through those feet, we'll inhale up. Exhaling in the forward fold. I know we did wide-legged forward fold a moment ago. Now we're doing regular forward fold. Feel free to bend your knees alternately while keeping those feet on the ground if you can. Woo. Let that head be heavy. If you want an option, of course, you can always grab those opposite elbows and rock. You could also clasp those fingers, take them behind your neck, and then frame your face with those elbows. Not pulling, but just adding additional weight, and then rock gently and see how that feels. Breathing into it. Celebrating this perspective. And then releasing those hands and gently transitioning to the ground. I invite you to add any additional poses or stretches that you would like. And then we're going to come into our final posture, and I'm going to lead you through a brief meditation, even though it's been a little bit of a meditative quality throughout class anyway. Add anything else you'd like. And then when you're ready to find stillness, whether it's seated or on your back or your belly, I invite you to settle in. Let the surfaces that you're in contact with fully hold and support you so that you don't have to do any work in this moment. Let your environment support you. softening those edges. Coming back to your breath. Letting that forehead soften. Maybe those lips slightly part to let that jaw release. Letting your temples soften. Releasing your eyes. So we're not clenching them shut. If you feel comfortable, just to have your eyelids gently blanket the eyes. Noticing the rise and the fall of your chest. Letting the shoulders, the belly, the hips soften into the surfaces. Releasing your big toes. Edith Wharton has this beautiful quote that I love. There are two ways of spreading light: to be the candle or the mirror that reflects it. So I invite you, now that your body is hopefully a little more relaxed and soft, bring that attention back to your heart space, that chest area. Coming back to those seeds we talked about. Think of some things that you're grateful for again. Maybe the things you thought of before, maybe new things. Those seeds of gratitude, whether loved ones, people, situations, qualities that you have. And as you inhale, nurture those things, making them brighter and stronger with your gratitude. And as you exhale, let it expand through your heart space, letting it grow. Each thing that we're grateful for, or that one thing. And sometimes it's hard to think of what we're grateful for, so maybe it's this time together. I know that's narcissistic. Maybe it's this breath right here. Maybe it's a bird outside or an exchange, whatever it is, find that and nurture it, reflecting on it, letting it fill your whole body. Maybe the borders beyond your body, letting it fill you and expand and extend beyond you to the lives that you touch. Because you do make a difference and you do have that power, that quality. And so nurturing and fanning that flame, letting that gratitude fill you, that reflection. And then it also turns into that candle because you're sharing that light and that energy within you. With each inhale, feeding it, and each exhale, fanning it through your body. And if it's hard to imagine or envision, if you're not feeling these things, it's good to imagine or envision those things or pretend, because we're practicing, right? And we're training our brains and our minds to think of these things. And if we're not used to that, then that's also okay, right? But we're building those new paths. With each inhale, maybe, so I told you I like love and peace, right? Inhaling peace. Peace out as we exhale. Peace in. Peace out. And if another word resonates with you, take that one. Allowing these thoughts, these sensations and emotions to marinate, to permeate you. Filling your organs, your cells, your systems, your life. And knowing that it's with you and it's carried in your words, your actions, your breath. And there is hope. We can have our own hope and fuel those hopes and then pass it on. I'm going to pause a moment and allow you to continue on your own for a few breaths, noticing what you notice. coming back to your body, observing any sensations, any reactions, any nutrients. Maybe there's an effervescence or a tingling. Maybe there's a numbness. Maybe you're not sure, and that's also okay. Noticing that and honoring it. Bringing gentle movement through your body by tracing those fingertips with your thumbs or wiggling the toes. Maybe licking your lips or gently swallowing. And wherever you're at, whatever position, I invite you to inhale those arms up along the floor or on the ground. Long and tall fingers down your arms, your back, extending those feet and toes if you're laying down, or just feeling it grounding through those hips if you're seated. Pausing a moment in gratitude. And then bringing those palms together, thumbs to your forehead. May you have kind thoughts that honor your wisdom. To those lips, kind words to yourself and others that speak your truth. And to your chest, a full and open heart. The light in me celebrates and honors the light in you. Thank y'all so much for practicing and sharing this time and energy together this morning. Namaste. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. My name is Layla. I don't even know if I introduced myself. I'm sorry. If you didn't know, I'm Layla. Thank y'all for coming. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. Feel free, if you want to go check out NAMI Greater Houston Walks. If y'all want to do the other virtual events, they're going to have a virtual walk this middle of the day. They're also going to have a poetry slam. I teach at Rollout Yoga. I also am a counselor at the Houston West Vet Center. So if any of that applies and you're interested, please reach out. And remember, y'all do have the power. Y'all take care. Shine your light and stay lit. You guys take care. You're welcome. I appreciate all of you.